I would like to acknowledge the Darug people, who are the traditional custodians of this land. I would also like to pay respect to the elders past, present, and emerging of the Darug Nation and extend that respect to the other Aboriginal people present.
Here we gather on this hallowed day to pay our respects on ANZAC Day. Aussies and Kiwis, we gather as one and remember the fallen at the rising sun, of those who paid the ultimate price with stories of bravery and sacrifice, of wars fought long ago. We still wonder why so many brave people needed to die. Today is not about politics, anger or debate, but reflection, two up and beers with your mates. To some we remind, it's not a day off, it's to commiserate and remember your freedom had costs. Our nation's identity was born on a beach overseas, at a small piece of land they called Gallipoli. And tragedy happened, and some say we lost, but our lads did their job, no matter the cost. Stories of those who lied and joined at 15, chasing adventure and a boyhood dream. With no idea why, they wanted to settle the score. The enemy's name irrelevant, there will always be more. The little girl wears the medals her granddad earned, and watches the soldiers who've recently returned. Too young to understand or ever ask why, waves her flag and cheers as they proudly march by. The passage of time slowly welcomes the rest of the diggers. The great wars are no more, but their memories linger Korea, Vietnam, and the ongoing Middle East. Will we ever find a way to just live in peace? So we say our prayers and look to the skies, but for the grace of God, it could be you or I. Unless we forget those who currently serve, we give our thanks and respect. It's what they deserve. Stuart Eliot has written this poem as a tribute to the fallen and the returned, and more importantly, the importance of remembering. Good morning, and welcome to today's ANZAC Day commemoration service. We gather here today for those Australians, New Zealanders, and all who served and died in wars, conflicts, and peacekeeping operations.
There's something special about ANZAC Day. It's a feeling that reaches deep in our souls, shapes our national psyche. It's more than just a reflection on history, more than gratitude for the sacrifice of our forebears, more than honouring past generations. It's spiritual. It's about appreciating who we really are as a people and as a nation. Yet, our understanding is often confused. Wasn't the Gallipoli campaign a disastrous defeat? Weren't the conditions and the casualties horrendous? How could nationhood be founded on such a sad and costly chapter of our history? How could a national spirit grow out of a national tragedy? Let us begin by understanding the history of ANZAC Day. Then, understanding and embracing the spirit will follow.
One early day in 1915, Major C.M. Wagstaff, then the junior member of the operations section of Birdwood's staff, walked into the General Staff office and mentioned to the clerks that a convenient word was wanted as a code name for the corps. The clerks had noticed big initials on the cases outside their room, A, N, Z, A, C, and a rubber stamp for registering the correspondence had also been cut out with the same initials. When Wagstaff mentioned the need of a code word, one of the clerks suggested, "How about ANZAC?" Major Wagstaff proposed the word to the General, who approved of it, and ANZAC thereupon became the code name for the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. It was, however, some time before the code name became into general use, and at the landing, many men in the divisions had still not heard of it.
How did the ANZAC get here? How did he find his way halfway across the world where some Australians couldn't even locate where they were fighting on the map? There are stories of the first shots of Sarajevo that ignited the events into action, or the fear of German warships on our shores in the Pacific. Nothing was more powerful to put Australia in was its close ties to Britain.
In the eyes of Prime Minister Sir Joseph Cook, going to war with Germany alongside Britain was a natural occurrence, a necessity or even a destiny to go alongside the mother country. Whatever happens, Australia is a part of the Empire right to the full. Remember that when the Empire is at war, so is Australia at war. That being so, you will see how grave the situation is. I want to make it quite clear that all of our resources in Australia are in the Empire, and for the Empire and for the preservation and the security of the Empire. Prime Minister Sir Joseph Cook. Australia soon found themselves in the horrors of war. The shores of Gallipoli would never be the same. Australia would change forever.
Out of the horror that grew, other things, national pride, selflessness, mutual respect, comradeship, unity, and indomitable spirit. Nationhood had come at a terrible price, but nationhood it was. To help us better understand the impact and importance of those events over a century ago, let us reflect on the words of one who lived through those times, an Australian who had his baptisms in the Boer War, a King's School educated boy at Parramatta and a fellow Sydney University student. He was J.H.M. Abbott. He captured the soul of ANZAC in his poem, The Soul of Australia.
In the light of day, dawn, and the break of day, through the waters chill they fought their way. Like the series of old to the motherland, they came o'er the sea, and they sprang to the strand. And the blood of the angels, the Scot and the Celt, grew hot in their veins as the war fire they felt. In the light of the noon, in the bright sunlight, they fought up the cliffs from height to height, and the sun shone down on the scene of strife, where the soul of Australia came to life, as the blood of Australians was shed on the sword. For Australia, for Britain, humanity, God. Shall Australia mourn for the sons she has lost? Should Australians weep? Nah. Great through the cost, joy mingles with grief, and the pride mingles with pain. From our boys died like heroes, and died not in vain, and the soul of Australia, newborn on that day, with her sons died at ANZAC, shall never decay. J.H.M., The Brisbane Courier, 25 April 1916.
Today, we remember with thanksgiving those who made the supreme sacrifice for us. Today, we dedicate ourselves to the cause of justice, freedom, and peace, and for the wisdom and for the strength to build a better world. Could I please invite everyone now to make the sign of the cross? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. We will now lay a wreath of flowers. Flowers have traditionally been laid on the graves and memorials of fallen soldiers.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
In the military, the last post traditionally marks the end of the working day and a tribute to the fallen. We will play the last post, followed by a minute's silence as a sign of respect. Then we will play the rouse. This is played to signify the waking up of a new day. Please stand in silence and remain standing. Lest we forget. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Australians all at heart rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant southern cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the land. For those who've come across the seas, we boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
This concludes our ANZAC Day ceremony. Please follow the guidance of your growth coaches.